marketing. But my friend Rob here is going to tell you a little bit more about the program, how to get involved. This has been a great money maker for me. On an average, I'm making probably $200 to $250 per party at a preschool. And once you get into one preschool, your name is going to get out there. And you know, for me to make, you know, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 more a year, I'll take that every day of the week. And we're talking 1 hour parties. If you're doing a 2-hour event, you know, you double your money. That's it. It's easy money. But if you're doing it for the money, just you shouldn't be here. You've got to have the passion. You've got to enjoy the children. The same thing that you're doing as a DJ, you're just doing it for a younger market. That's all it is. Very easy. So with that being said, I just want to take the time and say special thanks to Rob. He helped me get involved with this. It's helping me, you know, make some serious money on this. And I just want to say, Rob, thank you. And here's my good friend, Mr. Rob Peters, if you would please.
Thank you. All right, well, thank you for coming out today. Everybody enjoyed the show?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I had said before we started, I may as well ask again, if you just joined us, pass your business cards up. We have door prizes today. I know it was about the donuts this morning. Unfortunately, we're out of donuts. But we do have a lot of stuff in store, and I'm very thrilled to tell you about this business program that not only has helped people like Raymar, it actually helped turn my business around. As Raymar alluded to, he's been DJing for a long time, and as you may have heard me talk about earlier, I've been DJing now for 31 years. There's no need to clap for that because it really has been that much fun, and I get the applause from my clients. I own and operate a company just outside of Boston, and we're a full-service entertainment company, so we not only do DJing, weddings, and photo booths, and all that stuff, we actually, within the past 10 years, have converted our business, so at least 1/3 of our business is kids' entertainment. Now, as Raymar said, this isn't one of those opportunities that you can really be successful with if you don't like children, or can't at least tolerate them for an hour to an hour and a half. Okay? In addition, I am the owner of BubbleParties.com, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I have written several books, the one of which that a lot of people know me for is The Business of Mobile DJing, and I actually have to update my slides a little bit because apparently that's now out of print according to Ryan. And I've been speaking now for probably about 15 years throughout the United States and Canada, teaching stuff you learned today and doing idea sharing and all the other stuff I do. And I have a passion for this industry, which is why whenever I can, I try to come up with new content and things that I'm doing to be successful that I can share without having to have it be a sales pitch. But this is something that I own and that I offer to DJs to help you make more money. In addition, you can catch me. I will be writing for Mobile Beat starting next month. We're going to be documenting some of that disruption stuff that I talked about earlier. And I also do write for the Disc Jockey News. But I wasn't always a kid's entertainer, everybody. This all happened because of this guy. This is one of my best friends in the business who unfortunately is no longer with us, but he was my mentor. His name was John Allo. And he convinced me to go full-time in 1998. Remember I talked about that awesome team building job? He told me that I'd be better doing this, and I took the plunge with his guidance, and it was a lot of fun. John shared this concept that I'm about to share with you today with me in 2004 as we took a road trip up to Maine to speak to some DJs. In 2005, John's health began to fail, and he actually called me up and asked me to come see him in the hospital and asked me to take over his local business because of his medical condition. In 2007, John passed away, and at that point in time, I took over the national distribution of this program. He was the original, and he was one of my best friends, and I do this as a labor of love. I do this program and try to do what I can to help DJs make more money using this, because that's what he did for me. So I always want to take a moment and recognize the guy behind it. So that's the guy. Look at the state of our industry. If you've seen me speak the past few days, I've said a couple of things repeatedly, and one of them is we're all vying for the same market. And we're all doing, believe it or not, the same things. We're doing things like we've got uplighting and photo booth, and we're going after the same mitzvahs and weddings and even the bar circuits with things like trivia and karaoke. They're very congested in certain marketplaces. I don't know how it is where you are, but in Boston, I do speed quizzing, and I talked about that earlier today. But the funny thing is I am in the market where Stump Trivia, if you've got Stump Trivia in your market, Stump Trivia was founded in my market. So going to a bar and going, hi, I want to show you something new, and they're like, we have Stump, it's like, but a lot of DJs don't think about going after the 3-year-old to 8-year-old market, which is what we're talking about here. And this is what I'm going to kind of share with you a little bit. Will you vie for the same market share? You're all battling against each other. This program is successful enough, and Raymar and some of the other guys that are in the room today can share their stories with you one-on-one. This takes some of the pressure off. I gotta tell you, the best thing in the world for me is to work 5 or 6 bubble parties during the week and have a Saturday night off, especially in July because I own a really cool camper. And I love to go. Why compete? Six Flags and Disney, right? 2 totally different brands, but when you break down what they are, what are they? Amusement parks. But the one thing when it comes to competing is their marketing is so much different between the 2 of them based on the experience you're gonna get. Disney's got more of that magical flair. You know what I mean? So they really go out of their way to stand out a little bit. And it's the same thing in the DJ industry. You may have a different way you do a wedding that makes you stand out. But sometimes it's not just what you do at a wedding. Maybe it's offering something different to your customers. And when you see what I'm about to reveal to you today, you might not think this is a good idea from the get-go, but when I give you something to think about, you might think twice about it, and I hope you will. So, is kids' entertainment really worth it? I saw you go, wow, for $250 for an hour on a Monday. Is it really worth it? It really is. There was an article just put up not too long ago by the website blog Moneyish. And in that article, parents are spending money on their kids' birthday parties. In fact, you're going to see another clip in a moment that's going to kind of really show this point a little bit more. This article online, if you get a minute to Google it, just Google, I forget the term we use, but Google Moneyish kids' birthday parties, okay? They talk about a $400 reptile show. $400 to bring reptiles out for the kids to look at. They talk about parties for $4,000 or $5,000. Parents are spending this on their kids. I'll give you another example. How many of you are from the Northeast? What's it doing there today, everybody?
A little bit of snow.
It's not just snowing, it's like really coming down. I get every email that's come into RPE, and since this morning when I left the stage downstairs, we're getting calls gangbusters today. People are going stir crazy in their homes, so if they've got power, they're planning their kids' birthday parties. They are spending $5,400 on a 1-year-old birthday party they talk about in this article, including a $1,200 balloon penguin. Now think about our industry and all the stuff we've talked about, you know? Mark Farrell talks about veggie platters. It's the same thing in this market, and you can make money with it. This program was originally started as something for daycares, and it's expanded into the birthday party market. I'll share a little secret about that in a minute. Believe it or not, kids' birthday parties, we were talking about mitzvahs earlier, kids' birthday parties are just like mitzvahs now. If you know people in the mitzvah marketplace, what's the one thing they say to you?
Keep them entertained.
I want mine to be better than theirs. It's the same thing with 1, 2, and 3-year-old birthday parties.
Yep.
But you know what? This clip from Good Morning America makes a little more sense.
You know, all of us are probably a little guilty of spoiling little kids around their birthdays. You know, that's part of the fun of being a parent and a kid. But some parents, and not just the rich and famous, are taking this to an unbelievable extreme, lavishing the equivalent of a little wedding on 6-year-olds. Andrea Canning is here now with this trend, and it's really something, especially when you consider these are pretty tough economic times.
I know, seriously. I think my daughter is expecting Dora to show up next month at her two-year birthday. We found there is big competition out there now among families bowing to social pressure or just trying to outdo each other. These parties are the new status symbol for some parents, but do the kids even remember these milestones? It's almost expected, celebrity parents throwing over-the-top birthday bashes.
This is what we call a car fit for a king.
Sean Diddy Combs bought his son Justin a $360,000 car on this episode of My Super Sweet 16. But now even everyday moms and dads are spending big bucks just to sing happy birthday in style.
This is going to be a fairy tale birthday party for her.
6-year-old Gracie from Layton, Utah may not be a real princess, but she might as well be. Gracie and her mother Nicole planned her party for weeks, with TLC's new show Outrageous Kid Parties capturing every moment.
Do you have something in mind for a budget?
I was thinking, like 15.
1,500 or 15,000?
15,000.
Try $32,000. They spared no expense, from the perfect skin to the perfect look
Gracie.
I want pink dress.
to the right cake.
That one's mine.
That's the one you want?
That's what I want.
Our whole staff would work on that for a couple of weeks. Our total, including tax and delivery, would be $2,365.78.
Not to mention 45 centerpieces, 2,000 flowers, and 300 costumes. Yes, all for a first grader, and the pressure was on.
Gracie is a little bit of a perfectionist like her mother. And when it came out, she was like, I thought the bird was supposed to be blue. And so she started to cry.
She may not be 16 yet, but for the grand finale, a new set of wheels.
Mom, I don't know how to drive.
So whatever happened to pin the tail on the donkey and a homemade cake?
This unforgettable experience gives parents a lot of validation and makes them feel like they are doing a good job.
Today, children's birthday parties have become big business, with billions spent every year.
There's, an initial sort of wow factor. It sets up an expectation for kids that every birthday, every milestone in their life is going to have these fireworks.
Lisa Zelkin says her party business, Send in the Clowns, has exploded over the last decade, with her clients sparing no expense. This backyard was turned into a farm, this one into the Wizard of Oz for $40,000.
20 years ago, a clown making balloon animals was a big deal. And over time, that's become run-of-the-mill. That's become the norm. And now, I think people are trying to not only outdo one another, but they're trying to outdo themselves.
But some critics question who the parties are really for, the kids or the adults. On The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Taylor Armstrong threw a $60,000 party for her 4-year-old daughter Kennedy. It appeared Mom was enjoying the party maybe a little too much.
Look at all of this for you. Can you believe it? Yeah, do you love it?
She was definitely a little overwhelmed.
I'm gonna go upstairs.
You do?
I actually thought, whatever happened to pin the tail on the donkey?
So, as you can see, people are spending money on this stuff. Now, I want to go back to how this was originally developed and give you some food for thought. How many of you have kids that you know of? A little sarcastic. How many of you have put your kids in daycare? Ain't cheap, right? And the daycares spend money to bring in activities for the kids at certain points during the year. So this meets their need too, and will fill your weekdays in. A bubble party is a program that was developed by John originally for the daycare market. It's developed for kids ages 3 to 7 years old. And we have done bubble parties for every one of those kinds of events up there. It's everything from daycares to kids' birthday parties to campgrounds. End of the school year events, fundraisers. The moms clubs all pool their money and call us to come out and entertain the kids on a Thursday afternoon for an hour so that they could all talk and we keep the kids busy. We also have done libraries and first communions. We actually had a AAA baseball team in my market hire us to come out as part of their family fun day. And the really cool thing about this, how many of you have gotten that bride on the phone that has said, is that your best price? You don't get that here, because this stuff really does sell itself. As I said before, John started it as a kids program for kids ages 3 to 7. It's yielded a lot of referrals for all the other stuff I do, believe it or not. I'll be at a bridal show, and this happens at least once or twice every bridal show, and Brian's nodding his head because he's seen it happen. The teachers will be walking around because they're getting married. I'll be dressed like this. And they'll walk over and they'll do a double take, and they won't address me as Rob. Bubble Man, what are you doing here? 9 out of every 10 of those teachers that I run into, I book their wedding on the spot. Why? Because they've seen my work, they've seen my passion, and there's a trust level there. They're trusting me with the kids that are in their care to be able to do this, so it's an easy transition. I had a family, I went to their home and I did their son's birthday party. At the end of the show, on the back of my business card, I have my bubble party fun stuff on the front. On the back side, I have a description of everything else we do. I handed it to the dad. I got a call from his secretary the following Monday going, we're having a corporate event next week and we want game show. $5,000 game show with DJ and a bunch of other add-ons from doing one kid's birthday party. It can really yield some results. It's a fun thing to do. And you know what? When we talk about the weekday work, one of the biggest things I used to hear, and this was when we used to do a lot of stuff by phone, was, I'm gonna miss that bride's phone call. Now we all know the brides really aren't calling. And realistically, you're done by noon. And you're back in your office doing stuff and you've made some money to supplement your business. That's gonna make this worth your while to consider. We include the Bubble Parties business plan, which is a plan that I wrote in conjunction with John. John wrote the original one. I edited it with the help of Raymar. We sat down last year and edited it because things have changed in the market a little bit. I'm gonna tell you more about what's in the plan in a moment. Our program also includes an online listing on bubbleparties.com, which was just redesigned. It was really done up really nice. And we also include a templated website, which I'll talk to you about in a second. We include something really unique. It says territory protection, but we call it competitive protection. And the reason why we do this is, anybody familiar with Michael Port, Book Yourself Solid? One of the things he teaches is become the expert or the go-to person in your field. And how are you gonna do that? With a program like this, I want everybody in our program to be the go-to people in their market that do this. So when you buy into the program based on availability in your area, we agree we're not gonna sell it to anybody else as long as you remain active within our program. Gives you an opportunity. Think about when you were a DJ. If there were no other DJs in your market, how easy would it be for you to make your business? It'd be really pretty easy, right? This eliminates that a little bit. I can't stop the copycatters, but I can tell you this, for somebody who, and I'll be happy to show the numbers if anybody would like to question it, and nobody ever has, thank you very much. Last year, my company made $50,000 doing this. 50 grand during the week doing this. Brian up here in the front row, I have to call him to help me out because we're that busy. I have 5 guys who work for my company doing these kinds of shows. And it's because I've been doing it, I'm now in my 14th year. But we give you that competitive protection to give you the opportunity to build your business without having to worry about somebody else having the same tools you have. We also give you access to exclusive programs for some of the things you might need, like bubble machines. We've worked out a couple of arrangements with some manufacturers to get you discounted machines so you can get started doing these shows right away. And they are exclusive to us. We also get you discounted marketing materials. Now, if you know anything about photography for marketing, there's one thing that we have that is keeps everything legal. We have pictures of kids and we have the releases signed by their parents and permission to use them in the marketing that we're going to be giving you. So your marketing materials are done really fast and customized really fast. We use breakthrough marketing. We have a discount program with Gig Salad for 2 free months of a featured membership on their website. What's really cool about that is it puts you top of the place in your marketplace, and you can also market the other things you're doing in your business. We also have the templated website. We design a templated website within 2 weeks of you joining our program and get you listed quickly so that you can start making your money now and not having to wait for anything. And again, all the picture includes the hosting. The only thing it doesn't include is the URL. So if you want Topeka Bubble Parties, you buy it and link it to us and you're all set up and ready to go. We give you training. I had to learn a lot of this stuff from John before he passed away, but a lot of this stuff I learned about this program, I had to learn on my own. So as part of our program, obviously I'm gonna share that with you to help you become more successful. If you stay successful, you stay in the program, everybody's happy. And $50,000 can't be wrong. There is something here that's missing, and that is we just brokered a deal with Gig Masters. All of our providers get 20% off a 12-month listing on Gig Masters too. So it's included in the plan. The business program, as I said, was originally founded by John. He wrote the whole thing. About 2 or 3 years after he passed away, I modified it, and last year Raymar and I gave it a serious overhaul to make sure we're including timely information, but information that you need to get started. We include a listing state by state of government agencies that license daycare centers so that you can begin to build your potential client list. We give you a practical marketing plan that's not only been used by me and Raymar and all the other people in my program to make sure that you have something to work with. We give you playlist suggestions, and we give you suggestions on how to continuously tweak it out with the changing music. Let's be honest, Taylor Swift, Shake It Off, we're still playing it because the kids love it, but we're looking for something else this year because we know she's coming out with new material soon. Information on how to do the interactive stuff. Not so much during the show, but believe it or not, during things like when you do a kid's birthday party and it's a pirate theme and there's a pirate game that you're gonna do, or it's around holiday time and you're gonna be doing mummy rap. Seems like simple stuff because we've done it millions of times with teenagers. We bring it down one step further though, because you're not dealing with teenagers in this case, you're dealing with kids ages 3 to 7. We also give you a list of equipment, and believe it or not, you have the majority of it in your stable already. Speaker stand, DJ system, and some music. There's some other stuff you need. We help you get all of that. And again, all of the discount programs we offer are exclusive, meaning you can't go to our people in our program and say, I want to get this, and oh yeah, I heard about bubble parties. They actually check the website to make sure you're active. We also give you ideas on how to profit in some of those other areas that I talked about earlier, things like campgrounds and kids' birthday parties and festivals and moms clubs. We give you ideas on how to market to them to make it easy. Marketing in our industry, or in any industry for that matter, has totally changed. It's not like you can just take a bunch of mailing lists and put in a bunch of email addresses and do spray and pray marketing. You all know what that is? Spray and pray comes in. You know what happens when you do that in this market? They take spam pretty seriously. So we show you how to do it so you can cover that market pretty well. Our providers do book more. And they do that because of the fact that I'm there to help you every step of the way. I want you to be successful in this program because it really does work. I believe that passionately about it. We give you everything you need to succeed from day one. So once you join in, we get you your business plan, we get your website up, we start this ball rolling right away. I don't want you to have downtime. But here's the other thing, and Raymar sometimes brought this up, and I don't think you brought this up when we were talking earlier. I was getting my game face on, so I wasn't paying attention too much. I just heard all the nice stuff. I give you, it's like a mechanic, okay? You can have the best mechanic, but if he doesn't have the tools to do his job, it's worthless. I'm giving you the tools to do the job. You have to be the mechanics and put this stuff into action to make it work. Our programs for discounts, as I said before, are exclusive. I feel again that that's really important to discuss. We do national exposure. We do some of the daycare conventions to expose this program. We're working on adding some more stuff within the daycare industry to get the word out on this, but obviously we also want to build our presence within different markets. Truth be told, we have 30 throughout the country. And there are probably at least 200 major metropolitan markets in the United States, according to the Department of Census. With that being said, that's a lot of people to fill, and we want to make sure when we make that investment, that it's going to be worthwhile for everybody in the program. As I said before, this is an untapped marketplace. This gives you the advantage, and it can, and I really believe this, it can bring you work in other areas for your business. We talked about competitive protection and how important that is. I don't think the guys over at the Photo Booth Expo are going, buy this booth, we're not gonna sell it to anybody else in your state. It doesn't happen. I want people who are serious about doing this program, who wanna make this work. That's why I'm here today. Increased referrals, I think I kind of explained that a little bit here. You get referrals, not just for the other stuff you do, but the funny story, and this always happens, I'm gonna share 2 stories with you. The first one is I always get a phone call once a week once I start getting busy. Do you have anything open on Saturday? Usually we don't, for me personally. I have 5 people to do it. My kid saw you at KinderCare today and he will not stop talking about you. His birthday's on Saturday. I don't care what it costs. Can you please just send somebody? Kids can do that.
Yep.
The best story I'm going to tell you, though, about how much impact this program has in the eyes of kids, I've been with my fiance now. We got engaged last November, but we've been together 8 years. And when I first started dating her, I used to do every Friday at Gillette Stadium, home of the world champion New England Patriots.
Former champion.
Former. Sorry, you Eagles fans. Sorry.
No, trying. I got nothing to say.
Quiet on the first. But every Friday they brought me in as a traffic builder. They would invite the moms groups down. I'd do the show in the hopes that they would all stay and have lunch and go shopping. And I was there for 2 years, and it was an awesome opportunity. I left the show one day, and we lived 10 minutes from Gillette Stadium. So I had gone to Kim's house, and I was going to make dinner. So I stopped at the supermarket, and as I'm walking in, I'm in my bubble party getup. I usually wear a Hawaiian shirt and a pair of khakis. And I'm walking in, and I hear off in the distance this kid yelling, "Bubble Man!" And literally, he's dragging his mom across the parking lot, and she's pulling a carriage with a toddler in it, right? And he's so amazed. The Bubble Man's at Stop and Shop. And we talked for a little bit, and of course I do the infamous, "Oh, did you enjoy the show? Are you being good for mom?" That kind of thing. Okay, well, enjoy your day. And the mom was like, "Thank you for humoring him." So I go into Stop and Shop, and I'm like, all right, I gotta buy dinner, because I do like to cook. Doesn't already show. So I'm walking around the store, and I'm in the cereal aisle for some reason. I'm grabbing oatmeal. And I hear, "Mommy's buying oatmeal!" And I look down, this kid's following me around the supermarket. Go around the corner, I grab chicken. "He's got chicken, Mom! He's making chicken!" Right? "He's got breadcrumbs, Mom! Breadcrumbs!" "What are you using those for, Bob?" He followed me around that store. I'm just thankful I didn't have to buy anything personal, right? So I finally come to the front of the store, and the mom is now she's pissed, but she's happy. She's fuming because the kid ran off, but she's happy that I at least kept an eye on him enough. And granted, it happens. I handed him off to Mom, and I go to the checkout, and I start putting stuff up, and all the staff at the checkouts are all yelling. They're all laughing and stuff. And they're laughing, and they go, "So you must be the Bubble Man." I'm like, "Yeah." Now, mind you, I'm still putting stuff on the belt. And I go, "So what's my bill?" She goes, "I haven't scanned anything yet." I said, "You heard what that kid said? He told you everything I got!" We laugh about that, but honestly, you know what? You become recognizable in that role. And it's not a bad thing. Like I said before, not only do we offer some unique benefits, but we also do offer the ability to help you get more bookings, not only for this, but for your DJ business. And truth be told, there's no other group or business that offers anything for DJs that has these referral programs available. These are exclusive to us. And I worked on that because I wanted to make it easy for once you get in, for you to get recognizable and start with the money. If you buy a photo booth, you've got to market it. You've got to get the word out. You've got to do your market research. And then it's spray and pray marketing, man. This program, it's spray and pray, but you know what? I'm going to tell you exactly who to contact and how to get them to call you. We talk about you have to be kid-friendly. I have a big saying about that, and that is I love kids, especially somebody else's, because I can wind them up and give them back at the end of the hour.
Right.
And collect a check. That's really what this is all about. Go ahead.
On a personal note, Rob knows this. A couple of years ago, it'll be 2 years in May, I lost my son. And didn't realize the importance of family time. And if you really want to clear up your weekends, particularly if you're doing weddings and stuff like that, this is an opportunity that you can spend more time with your families. And those of you who have children or grandchildren, I'm just telling you guys from the deepest part of my soul that it's so important to spend that family time. And as we get older, you're going to realize that those kids have grown up so quickly. My granddaughter, my oldest granddaughter, just turned 18, and I can't believe where the time flew, and she's driving now, when just yesterday it seemed like I was holding her in my arms. So I'm just telling you guys from my heart that family is so important. So if you want to give up that those weekends so you can spend time with the family, this is a good opportunity for you.
Thank you very much. He's absolutely right. As I joke about the camping, but it's true. I would rather be out during the week doing this stuff and be able to sit around with my family over the weekend. Let's be honest. I can unwind, I can enjoy my investment, and I can have a lot of fun. You need marketing materials. The prices are a little out to date here on the marketing materials. They are available once you join, and we get you those rates through Breakthrough Marketing. The bubble machines with our discount programs are less than $400. We also tell you how to get bubbles at a discount. There's no guarantee on that, but we have a strategy that has worked. You need the equipment for the show. You need the hula hoops, and believe it or not, the roll-up limbo poles, which ironically, if that's all you sat here for, thank you. I have roll-up limbo poles here for sale as well. There are additional costs. If you want the demo video that's included on your website, customized for your particular company, we actually just put up the Bubble Party's generic one on your website. There is an additional editing fee. It's about $150. And then again, additional counties are available for an additional fee. I appreciate your time today. This was probably, hopefully, a great way for you to kill time before they open the show floor. I now would like to entertain your questions. Go ahead, you were first.
I apologize because we walked in late.
Sure.
What do you generally get for a bubble party, and how much time are you spending doing it?
It depends on your area.
Okay.
For a 1 hour show this year, I'm getting $225 for a 1 hour show. Weekday.
Yeah.
On the weekends, I get $300.
Okay. And how far, and every show is an hour? It's
Well, I have some places that charge, well, for example, I have some places that have me for 2 hours.
okay.
And what I do is I basically work that out with them depending on the situation. I don't charge them 4